Okay, so hi all. So in the last video we had seen about the cashew, its processing and like various processing that is adopted due to the variety of cashew. So in this video let's see about the each and every processing. How each and every processing is done. So first we had seen conditioning of the raw nuts are being conditioned first. So condition is nothing but like after it has been cleaned using a rotary screen cleaner, we are removing the dust and the foreign matter. Then we are washing it by dipping in the cold water in a tank. Then after which it is being taken and heaped on a floor or stored in any iron tanks for about 24 to 72 hours. Then water is being sprinkled over those heaps in order to keep the nuts in a wet condition, and also are allowed to absorb moisture gradually. Then after which conditioning with moisture will ensure the quality of the final product, and oil recovery will also be less, and breakage of kernels would be more if the nut has not been absorbed sufficient amount of water. Then coming to the after conditioning, we are going for roasting of the cashew. So here mainly it is used by traditional cashew process in India. This technique is very simple with minimal equipment requirements. So it mainly requires nothing but a roasting pan that is in open circular like a mild steel dish. Uh, that is mainly adopted for open pan roasting method with an open fire. Here 1 to 1.5 kg of raw nuts are placed on the heated pan at one time, and these nuts are heated on the pan with a constant stirring in order to prevent the burning process. So what happens is that as the roasting process is done, the nuts gets heated up, and the ultimately the cashew nut shell liquid is extended into the it comes out into the pan. So this is the picture how the open pan roasting is being done. So next we adopt drum roasting also. So this is one of the improved one when compared to the open pan. Here nothing but a drum is being adopted. The drum is being used where the roasting process is done by the rotation of the drum. It takes nearly only 3 to 5 minutes for the rotation by hand. And next is the so this is the picture where the drum roaster fried from a furnace below is being shown. So where the feed is going into the rotating drum, and the water barrel is attached, and the roasting drum where the water is sprayed after when it is comes out of the roasted nuts is being sprayed with water. Below is the fire and the roller attached, and it is like hand operated drive handle is being given. Then oil bath roasting is nothing but it has a rectangular vessel with a brickwork and heated furnace. Here shell is only there is a removed shell is used as a fuel to burn the for the fire operation. So here the conditioned nuts are passed through a bath of heated cashew nut shell liquid maintained at a temperature of 175 to 220 for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then the screw or belt conveyor is operated inside the bath of liquid. Here the roasting time we can adjust according to the speed of the conveyor also. Now what happens is here the nuts are conveyed through a suitable outlet to a centrifuge, and the oil will get recovered from the roaster, and the centrifuge is filled into the drums. And then last is like shelling. How they do shelling is objective main as we all know, shelling is mainly done to clean the whole kernels which are free of any cracks. So it is like mostly adopted form of shelling is done only by manually, and sometimes in few cases mechanical sheller is also being used, that was developed at Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur by the Department of Post Harvest Center. Here the sheller uses principles of compression and the shear, that is taking into account the physical and the mechanical properties of the cashew nuts. So it has 4 parts: power supply, feeding, shelling and the discharge section. So by the using a hopper they feed the nuts, and the design criteria of this hopper and the screw conveyor is mainly based on the coefficient of friction and the angle of repose of the roasted cashew nuts. Then shelling is being done for these roasted nuts between the two wooden discs, one will be acting as a stationary disc and other one will be mounted to a shaft. and this rotating disc is spring loaded in order to compress and shear the roasted kernels against the stationary disc, and the compression and the differential speed of the discs will cause the shells to be broken. And when we see the performance of this mechanical sheller is optimal at 320 rpm, and it has a capacity of 18 kg per hour. Shelling efficiency was achieved up to 70%, and the whole kernel yield was 50% and broken yield 28, half split yield was 22%. And this is the cashew shelling, mechanical cashew shelling machine. Then drying. So we all know, in order to facilitate the removal, reducing the moisture content of the kernel to 6%, we are adopting the drying process in order to prevent it from any pest or fungal attack of the kernels, for which the Borma dryer, as we already seen in the processing of cashew, Borma dryer. So Borma dryer is nothing but the artificial drying is more reliable than sun drying. Here uniform temperature throughout the dryer is essential to avoid the under drying or the scorching, that is over drying of it. And here they use trays of various sizes that can be lifted when it is full. And here what happens is a lever mechanism is being adopted that automatically moves the trays when dry trays are removed, and when once those that has to be dried will enter into the cabinet. What happens is, into this dryer the hot air keeps on circulating over the trays, and the exhausted is passed through the chimney. Here the heat source can either be gas or electric power heater, and burning these cashew shells or the other sources of cashew can also be used to provide a heat source, and for like which the Broma dryer is being adopted. And then next is the this is the picture where we can see the Boma, or we also otherwise call it as a tray dryer. And peeling, at this stage the testa that is loosely attached to the kernel will be removed. Manual peeling is performed by gentle rubbing with the fingers, and here approximately like 10 to 12 kgs of kernels can be adopted for peeling by one individual day per day. And gentle scraping of the testa with a blunt knife is the most effective way of removing it, and it is like most important that the kernels are neither cut nor damaged during the peeling process. Then we are grading. The main thing is the quality control of the kernels. So this grading plays the major role in the processing of the cashew. So we adopt the American standard, or like Indian government export criteria is being considered for the grading process based on the color and condition. Peeled cashew nuts can be classified into between 11 and 24 grades. They are roughly divided into 3 groups, that is the white whole, white pieces, and the scratched grades. So we can see how they are graded based on the sizes, that is they fix a size like W, 180, 210, 240, 280, 320, and the 450 that comes under the white holes. And the white pieces like buds, splits, pieces, small pieces, and the baby bits we categorize. Then as I told, like improved method, that is in improved cashew nut processing, we adopt a method called rehumidification. So rehumidification is nothing but why it is done is, it is mainly done in order to ensure that moisture content is increased from 3% to around 5%. That is, sometimes during drying process it may be much reduced to lesser than 5. In order to make sure that we have to maintain only 5%, this rehumidification process is being adopted. So here we have to fix the moisture content, the critical one, since if it is excess 6%, sometimes what happens is the the mold growth may occur. So here, like under low humidity conditions, the floor is sprayed with water prior to closing the door, and under high humidity conditions it may not be much necessary to add water to the floor. So in this process, rehumidification, and at last packing is done by normal packaging used for the export of kernels, like airtight cans for 11.34 kg of weight capacity. And then packing material needs to be like impermeable, since cashew kernels are subjected to more rancid and go stale very quickly. And then after filling and weighing, the cap should be soldered in the preparation for Vitapack process. Like it consists of removing all the air from the can and like substituting it with CO2 gas. Any infestation has been present will therefore be used to arrest it at last. So this is about the in-depth processing of the cashew nut processing. Thank you.